You're welcome back. I said it's still Political Spectrum, reaching you live from the beautiful hills of Ibiako and here in Akwa Ibom State. And just before we went on that break, I mentioned that we'll be having the PDP Publicity Secretary in the person of Boronu Basi, and he'll be joining us via Zoom to share his thoughts on some developments within the political party with special reference to Akwa Ibom State chapter. And of course, that and much more what you should be expecting going forward. Okay, I'll be asking you now because I know you can see us and you're watching. Mr. Boronu, okay. There was a previous schedule of activities that was made public, and it was in the public space. Of course, there was another disclaimer that it should be disregarded. Okay, will the PDP come up with any of such schedule considering the short time frame that we have before the 2023 election? How soon are we expecting that from the People's Democratic Party?
Yes, the National Public Secretary of Party, as well as other National Working Committee members, the National Working Committee of our party, have released a statement urging the public to discountenance, the purported timetable that people claiming has emanated from the party. The truth is, PDP were known to always, engage in wider consultations, and so when the time is right, we will sit and then decide how we should, progress from where we are and how we intend to go out, how we intend to schedule the activities, that would form the build-up to the election. So we're again in line with what the National Working Committee of our party has said, that the public should discountenance that fake and false information that the PDP has, at the national level, has released a timetable, that would serve as a build-up or activities for the build-up of the elections. Okay,
if that's the case, let me quickly ask this. A lot of persons indicated interest to run for the governorship elections come 2023. Under your party, top names like Mr. Kanudofia, Mr. Dominoyo, and a couple of others, Senator Basi Albert and Dr. Inebong and Sien were on the list. I would like to ask, so far, how many persons have consulted the party? Hello.
Well, if you came here earlier on, you would have noticed that we had a visitor here. The truth is, when the season for campaigns and consultations opened officially, a lot of aspirants, from our party, have been going around telling the people, stakeholders, and people who would form the delegates, and of course, Akwa Ibom people about what their blueprint would be. And so that should show you something, that is only our party, members of the People's Democratic Party, that are going around the state as we speak to, to get the buy-in of the people to sell their mandate or their aspiration to the people. And so that should show you that we are a party that understands that the true mandate lies with the people. And to get that mandate, you must, as a matter of responsibility, I beg the people to support you. So that's why you find members of our party going around, consulting stakeholders, consulting delegates, consulting all the people that you could think of, trying to get the buy-in of these segments of the people to support the aspirations. So far, the state chairman of the People's Democratic Party himself, the Right Honorable Elder Nekanakban, had declared even before the opening of the window for consultations of the party that the party will be fair and that we will treat all aspirants with fairness, and that's what we've been doing. The party is open. We've opened our doors to all aspirants at any level, even if you're seeking
Let me cut you there. I actually wanted to know how many persons have consulted the party so far since the beginning of all this. How many persons have consulted the People's Democratic Party amongst those that are aspiring to run for the governorship position?
You must understand that the task of conducting elections lie primarily with the Independent National Electoral Commission. And the Commission has set out a timetable which political parties will also have to follow. As a law-abiding party, the People's Democratic Party will follow all of the stipulated guidelines and timetable that as released by INEC. And we also hope that, at the end of the day, that this will serve to strengthen democracy in Nigeria, because, over the years, what we have been doing is to take steps, that tend to strengthen democratic practices in Nigeria. And as a political party, that has been favored by the people over the years, we will continue as a party to ensure that we abide by the stipulations and the guidelines released by the electoral umpire, that's INEC, with a view to ensuring that we replicate the stories of successes that we have over the years.
Okay, let's go on a short time out, Mr. Borono. I'll get back to you shortly, but after this time out, so please stay. Glad to have you back. The show is still Political Spectrum, reaching you live from the beautiful hills of Ibiakoran here in Akwa Ibom State. And of course, this conversation is live on our different social media handles on Facebook and on Instagram. Use the handle at SpectrumTv NG and get to join us and drop your comment, feedback, so we get to hear from you. Okay, we're still connected with the PDP Publicity Secretary, who was sharing his thoughts with us and still will be sharing his thoughts with us on certain issues within the PDP family. Okay, Mr. Borono, are you still there? Hello. Okay, let me quickly ask you this. At some point, the PDP was struggling with some internal issues that were related to zoning or micro-zoning, or perhaps they're still struggling with it. What is the position of the party towards this? Can you hear me?
Truth is, we must understand that first, two things. First, the governor has the right to support whoever he intends to support. He is, first of all, a citizen of Akwa Ibom State, and then his exalted office as the governor of Akwa Ibom State, and also the leader of the People's Democratic Party in Akwa Ibom State. And so everyone should understand the governor is well within his right to support whoever he prefers, to succeed him in office as governor. But away from that, there is a stipulated, manner of doing things in the party, and that has to do with the nomination processes. Everyone, like I mentioned to you earlier, everyone will be subjected to the nomination processes, and at the end of the day, a candidate of the party will emerge. And the truth is, since the return of democracy in Akwa Ibom State, since the return of democracy in Nigeria and in Akwa Ibom State, we've always adopted zoning by senatorial district. Senatorial district. We started with the Uyo Senatorial District, which took its turn with architect Obong Victor Ta. They finished and handed over to someone from Ikot Senatorial District, with Obong Gosulapablo taking his own turn to represent people to sit as governor, from that senatorial district. And then it went to Ikot Senatorial District with Governor Dom Emmanuel currently, sitting as governor and performing. And then after, it's supposed to, by rotation, it's supposed to go back to Uyo Senatorial District. And it's back here in Uyo Senatorial District. So everyone who is from Uyo Senatorial District is well within his right to aspire. And as I speak to you, we have people from almost all the federal constituencies that make up Uyo Senatorial District aspiring to become governor. And our duty as a party is to make sure that we give them a level playing ground for them to ventilate their aspirations. At the end of the day, we subject them to a nomination process, after which a candidate will emerge.
Okay, if you say so, this is another issue. Are there plans to adopt a consensus candidate? I know you said the governor has the right to, support whichever aspirant he chooses to, that it is well within his rights. But so far, so good. We have seen massive endorsement of the candidacy or the aspirations of Pastor Moino. At some point, is the party considering to adopt a consensus candidate? Hello.
The beauty of the People's Democratic Party has always been in our ability to sit as a family and then resolve whatever perceived differences that will come from different segments of membership of our party. And so when the time is right, we're going to sit as members of the same political party on the same table and resolve whatever differences that might arise from people aspiration and maybe some zoning issues. But I like to draw your attention to the fact that from tomorrow, the state chairman of the People's Democratic Party, the Right Honorable Elder Kanakpan, will be leading the entire structure of the party in Akwa Ibom State to the different federal constituencies, the 10 federal constituencies in Akwa Ibom State. And the message will be simple, that we're going to be interfacing and meeting minds with the stakeholders, members, and elders of these different constituencies and telling them that, the people of Akwa Ibom State...
I'm asking about adopting a consensus candidate. At this point, do you think your party might consider that option, knowing that it's constitutional as it now?
Well aware that the electoral law has made stipulations about how to arrive at a consensus candidate. Well, I mentioned too that the most or almost all of the aspirants, that are vying for the different, positions in our party, are noted for the ability to always, place the interests of the state, over other selfish interests. So we're hoping that if it gets to that point, and then because the issue of consensus will always lie with the agreement of the aspirants, and so if it gets to that point and the aspirants are in agreement, why not? We would also love to explore that position, because don't forget that this is we're trying to what's that word? We're trying to experiment with democracy here in Nigeria, and so we're hoping that as these issues continue to arise, as these models continue to arise, we experiment with them and see which is best suited for us, in line or considering the peculiarities that we have as a people.
Okay. All right. Lastly, just before I let you go, is the PDP concerned with national politics? Because there are some accusations, or not accusation, there is a publication by the APC that PDP is not concerned with national politics. They are pretty much interested in local politics, who becomes the governor, who becomes the State House of Assembly member, and all of that. What is the position of the party towards this?
I would have actually expected that the APC would be, interested in trying to see how they can, put their house in order so that they can even have at least, a national convention. As we speak, the APC, we don't even know who is the spokesperson of the APC in Akwa Ibom State. We don't know who the chairman is, because those issues, there are a lot of litigations, so we don't know who we should actually address as the authentic chairman, as the authentic executive committee of that party. And we would have expected them to, to bother themselves with that kind of issue. But then the truth is, the People's Democratic Party in Akwa Ibom State, with our leaders, Governor Udom Emmanuel, and also the state chairman of the party, what we did was, a few months ago, we took all of the delegates, from Akwa Ibom State, and then we had a very robust and successful national convention, which produced members of the national working committee of our party. And so that would mean that we're very much interested. And if you can see, as we speak today, it is only members, or it's only governors from the People's Democratic Party in this nation that are commissioning projects. Those are the ones that are giving the quality leadership that, is happening in the different states that we have. Go and check. And so these are the issues that we're talking about. When we talk as a political party, we intend at every time to always dwell on issues of good governance, issues of quality and effective representation, and not pedestrian issues, and needless bickerings. What we do as a political party is to ensure that we uphold the trust that the people continue to have on us. And that's what we've been doing. And we have also been drumming that to our members. So anyone who comes out to aspire for any position understands that he carries the burden of the trust from Akwa Ibom people in his mind, and he should ensure that, he gives the kind of quality representation and quality leadership that the People's Democratic Party is known for.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Barnu, a PDP Publicity Secretary, Akwa Ibom State. Many thanks for sharing your thoughts with us on that program. And, of course, he said the APC should be concerned with issues relating to their National Congress, National Convention, as the case may be, rather than dabble into side issues. Well, it is what it is. That is his opinion on that. But that's the size of our show today. Many thanks for watching and being a part of it. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you next week when Political Spectrum returns. Of course, tomorrow is Saturday, and of course, we'll use that. Happy weekend to you, and bye for now.